Kathryn, for you who are the wrong, can you explain the title and the significance of it?
So it's not much of a laugh.
No.
And yeah, it's basically for anyone who has suffered abuse from other people, and just that feeling of wanting to acknowledge how amazing they are to have survived it all.
Okay, as you say, I mean, it's a very thoughtful piece. And what actually triggered it off in the first place? What made you decide to go down that route?
I think it was just watching people around me dealing with it. You know, I've been very lucky and had a very nice life, but a lot of people that I love have had horrible things happening to them, and just how thin the line is between being in that situation or not. And so yeah, and it was basically, I just started writing again in the middle of lockdown, and it was just very being aware of that as well, just the feeling of what happens to people. You know, how hard it was for everyone, but for people already in that situation, just how terrifying the thought of that was for me.
Yeah, because you mentioned the word lockdown there, which was significant in that kind of scenario, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just that already these, you know, there's so many people who are, you know, in really difficult situations, and suddenly they weren't even allowed to escape it, you know, so yeah.
Yeah, of course. And so I know you describe the album as a creepy, hopefully comforting collection of little songs.
Yeah, not very good at describing it.
Well, you don't have to be, do you? Because you perform it and you write it, and that's just wonderful. And you'd been through, I read anyway, a period of writer's block.
Yeah, it was very strange. I just didn't, I mean, I didn't mind. I just felt very like just that there weren't, any songs weren't coming, and then it was just a kind of maybe that I just won't do that again. And that's probably for the best. But
right. Well, it wasn't, patently. But I mean, it must have been a little bit scary for you, because I mean, you know, I mean, you started out kind of very cautiously with your career. I know that, and you came and played for us, and it was great. And you didn't expect much. I mean, you're very humble, but very talented as well. So, you know, it had nothing to do with you. It just took off, quite rightly.
That's very nice.
So when you get in that position, it must be a little bit scary for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a very strange job, and I think that the people doing it are a very strange breed, and like some of the most beautiful people that I've ever met. But I also think it's and I think that period of time where none of us could do it anymore made it very, very clear how much we crave it, but also how much it takes out of you to do as well. You know, it's a very strange circle.
It is, and it's brave to get up on stage in front of people in a band, right, in a normal scenario. But to do it, as you're doing it in front of us now, just yourself and a piano, and that's the bravest of all.
I don't know. I mean, I miss having Marcus to tell me not to talk. That, you know, that was very handy. Now I'm doing quite a lot of talking between songs and getting myself into quite a lot of trouble. So yeah.
Have you started, are you at the stage in your career where you're starting to tell jokes in between?
Exactly, at that stage, Mark. It's very, very worrying. Yeah.
I'll tell you something later, but it can be a slippery slope.
I'm very much, yeah, I've got my nails clawing in at the top of that slope at the moment. So yeah, any tips for how to stop doing that would be great. Thanks.
Right, okay. Well, I'm not sure I can give any wise words to anybody about anything. So tell us where you recorded the album, because it sounds idyllic.
It is, yeah, so the Lengths studio in Fort William, the amazing Loman Campbell and his beautiful Susie Brown, who basically rebuilt an old school by hand. And yeah, there are herons nesting in the trees, you're looking out onto a loch. It's perfect. And then they have a dog who is the most beautiful creature in the world, and put her head on my knee whilst we were recording. I mean, life does not get better.
Yeah, and it must have been like a juxtaposition for you, really, because you're writing these very involved, deep and meaningful, I'm not being funny by saying that, deep and meaningful and, you know, thoughtful songs, and with a very intense kind of theme, but you're surrounded by this beauty. That must have helped you kind of, your mindset whilst doing it. Definitely.
I mean, also, Loman is very, very funny, so I was mostly crying with laughter. It was a very half and half situation of, yeah, feeling the sadness of things, but also knowing how lucky I am and just having the most beautiful time.
Yeah, and some optimism in it for you.
Yes, extreme.
Yeah, that's got to have helped. So, yeah, so nice. I also read that you said that you've got a different voice, in your own words, for each album, right?
Yeah.
And obviously you're on album number 3 now.
Yeah.
So what will album number 4 entail? Because I know you're a fan of Taylor Swift. I'm just wondering if you're going to go down that route.
I'm obsessed with her. Yes, please. I'd like to write the next Taylor Swift album. Yes, please.
Right, okay. Have you heard of an artist called Caitlin Rose?
Yes, also love her.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's got an album coming out later in the year. She's going to come and play for us again, and it's a long, long time since she did. But I believe her mum is a songwriter, and I believe her mum wrote early on for Taylor Swift.
Wow.
So
that is a really good claim to fame.
I'll get some tips off Caitlin Rose when she comes and plays for us.
Great.
Before you go and do another song for us, could you explain exactly what's going on about the gigs? Because we actually read out the dates the other day because we played Anxiety Attack by Jeffrey and Jack Lewis.
Oh, yes.
Which is just an amazing song.
Yes.
And Jeffrey is one of the best lyricists ever.
He really is.
And James Yorkson, a friend of the programme, brilliant artist.
Amazing man.
And you're all going on tour in the Highlands?
Yes. With Josie Long as well.
Right.
Like, honestly, life does not get better than that either.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah,
How
I'm
did
very
that come
lucky.
about?
James just asked me. He just put away to the side the truth of me and let me join in the coolest gang of all.
Right.
I'm
fabulous.
feeling very lucky.
All right, well, I've got some dates here for you. Tomorrow you are playing Jupiter Rising in Edinburgh.
Yes.
And then we go through to this string of dates that I've just mentioned with the bill that we've mentioned between us. The 21st of September, Eden Court in Inverness. The 22nd, Mariel in Shetland. 23rd, the Bayer Theatre, St Andrews. The 24th, Eastgate Arts Centre in Peebles. The 15th of October, St Luke's in Glasgow. And the 22nd of November, Islington Assembly Hall in London.
Yes.
Brilliant, okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, Kathryn, well, loved it, and we're going to continue loving it now when you do for us what